everyone, today I'll be reviewing this comedy special just dropped on Netflix. It's called Trevor Noah I Wish You Would. And recently, if you don't know Trevor Noah, who was the host of, I think, Daily Tonight Show, like a couple of months ago, I think he left the Daily Night Show to become a full-time stand-up comedian, I guess, who he was before doing that show. So I actually never watched his show or anything like that. But I have seen Trevor Noah, his interview here and there. I find he's so young, but he's really very talented person and very knowledgeable about race, social, political issue. That is his jam. He knows a lot of like social stuff, mainly like political stuff, because that's how his show was. Now that his special is on Netflix, I was really excited to see this special, mainly because this kind of comedy special on Netflix, they're not always funny. If I'm being honest here, they're not that good either. Some of these people, they're not that talented enough to be on Netflix, but Netflix do buy this comedy special all the time, and this comedy special he's doing, it takes place in Toronto. Very interesting, and the audience he was in front of it, his jokes will reflect on those people, because like if you don't know, Toronto is very multicultural place. A lot of like different age, like different race people lives there. So I could see his jokes are based on for those people there. The reason I'm saying that because that was I was thinking his joke is this kind of comedy special. This people goes to places and Netflix just buy that, and that is what I was seeing in this one. Some of his joke here, I found them really funny. They are really funny, especially the way he starts his comedy special. You will like it. Like it's really very funny. All the joke he was saying about him learning about Germany, and he said what this lady said to him, and some of the stuff he was talking in that, like especially the way he starts the show. I found it really funny. I was like, oh, that is very interesting. I didn't know he knows so many language, and he's really good at doing accent of other people's accent, and I find it really interesting. And his dad is from Sweden, which I didn't know. That is like also very interesting. However, this comedy special, the halfway through, once he start talking about pandemic and COVID stuff, for me this show did become a little boring. I was like, oh man, I don't want to hear about pandemic stuff, because I don't know. Everybody, everywhere, you want to move on with the pandemic. However, the thing he said about Africa and how they manage Ebola, I found that those jokes were really funny. I was like, oh, he is not the like a perfect comedian, like I would say, like Chris Rock. He's so funny on stage. He's not that kind of funny, I guess. His jokes are funny for people who enjoy this kind of stuff. As I was saying, his jokes are mainly social, race-based, political joke. It ain't for everyone, if I'm being honest here. However, his last act for this joke, he was talking about, he went to this Indian restaurant, and the Indian, this Scottish, and his friend was all the joke about those. I really, last act is, I found it funny. As I was saying, in Toronto, like a lot of Indian people live there, and as I was saying, the beginning of the middle part of his joke, he didn't get that much laugh, because like these people are like, what is he going on about pandemic? Once he went to his last act in this comedy special, it was funny, and he was getting a lot of laugh. As I was saying, this comedy special is because he's in Pacific City, his jokes were wrote that way, and which I understand. Someone who been to Toronto many times, so I know what was he doing here. And some people will not like this comedy special simply because his comedies do require special, as I was saying, taste. Because he will be talking about race, social, political issue. He does talk about a lot political issue. That is what he's good at, I guess. And one of his video I watch on YouTube, that is how I know how he's very knowledgeable person is on. He said, there's one video on YouTube. It's like he said like the the black American, I think he said something, they are not African or something like that. He said, it is very good video on YouTube. I saw once and I was like, oh, he's really good at talking about race base. I think this comedy special, first act was really very funny and interesting. Middle act, it does lose steam a little bit. And the third act is definitely very funny. And that was my thought on this. Let me know in the comment, what do you think about this comedy special? If you enjoyed this review, don't forget my other reviews on other Netflix stuff. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.